Hello, and welcome to the FRL Season 3 Russian Grand Prix. I'm Chaos, and I'll be your broadcaster tonight. And we're just watching Fiji Doma making his way out of the pit lane right now. A little bit of a kick there. So just at the very beginning of qualifying here, this will be an outlap for Fiji. Right now, a couple of the championship favorites are not here. We've got Kenny missing. But we still have Cam, we still have Flex. Last race it was Kenny who was putting a big gap. Oh, we've got a little bit of a moment there for one of the Mercedes, but the clearance I should say, but they're looking fine. Alright, so here we have a lap of Sochi. Power down this first rate, brake, just around 100, cut in here, power on, and then it is full acceleration down this long curve. It starts off fairly straight, but it gets tighter and tighter and tighter as you make your way along. And then you come along here, brake right on the left side, and then make your way over. Use as much of the exit, and that lap is disallowed. Fiji backs off. It's done. We'll move instead to Red Baron. Oh, that's a little bit of a moment, but he is barely able to keep it. Brake late here, and then take it. Ooh, that's about as tight as you dare to take it on this corner. Make your way around through the start of this second sector. And now we get into the section. It's a nearly 90-degree right, followed by a left double apex. You make your way nice and wide around here, and then get to the left, brake, and now you're onto the back straight as Dubman himself sets a pace lap of 132.7. DRS will be open through this section as X-Max steps to 131.68. Heavy braking at a weird angle, and then you have to put on the power very carefully as you accelerate around this corner. Red Baron coming up on a bit of traffic here, just a little bit wide on the apex there as he takes his way through the third sector. This is a tricky little chunk. It's just a couple of 90-degree corners, but you can really make up some time there if you take it perfectly. Final corner, and the power is on, and Red Baron sets himself a 132.9. Let's see what Flex can do. Flex is, of course, our championship leader. Alright, around the final corner. And Flex has 131.87, putting him second to X-Max. It is our hazy looking conditions, and in fact the rain is starting to come out, so this is a critical moment. The drivers who have not yet set a time absolutely need to get a lap in as fast as they possibly can. Rafa, right now, one of the top drivers in the championship, currently sitting just 14 points off of second place, but he is in fourth place. The raindrops are starting to come down as RFX Rafa makes his way into turn 2. This gentle turn, the Kvyat corner as I like to think of it, as The infamous moment where Daniel Kvyat became known as the Torpedo. That is a corner cut, and that is a big spin, and he bumps into the wall, and oof, that's going to be... Rafa is not going to have a better opportunity in these conditions. Brother John also has his lap disallowed. Luke Brax, another top driver, currently 6th in the championship, 107 points. Luke is going to do the very best he can, but this track is going to get greasy. Rubber sliding on rubberized asphalt. It's just going to be a bad time altogether. You want to stay away from the dark patches. In real life, at least, they don't quite show up quite as clearly in the video game. Oh, the rear end is kicking out just a little bit there for Luke Brax, but he's able to maintain control of the car, which is critical as he makes his way around to turn 11 and onto the back straight. Luke Brax powering his way along. He's got Fiji Domo just a little ways behind him, if I'm not mistaken yet. That is Fiji. Coming around and braking. Towing the line, he slides off. Big time loss as he goes through there, but he just needs to set a time. You can see the back of the car kicking out as he tries to get the power down, but it's so difficult to accelerate under these conditions. Luke Brax currently sitting 13th overall. He needs to set a time. He's backing out. He can't set a time here. That's surprising. I'm surprised that he didn't go for that, but let's see what Fiji does here. He's also saying, you know what, enough of this. I can't do it. Is anyone else going out under different conditions? It looks like the rain might be lightening just a little bit. Here we've got Santi making his way through the third sector of this course. One corner to go. He's currently got a 132. It's going to be a 133 something. 133.2. He's better by half a second. But he's 7th place right now. And the conditions remain drizzly. X-Max, who's currently filling in for Rarocopter. And he is backing off. Oh, this is going to be the start of his hot lap. Alright, getting a little bit more temperature into his tires, and then let's see what X-Max is able to do. He's currently sitting on pole position.
What's chaos?
Hey, how's it going, Red Baron?
Oh, it's doing fine.
Little soggy.
My wet qualification.
Well, you're still in it, and you've got a teammate filling in for Raro tonight.
Yeah, that's awesome.
And he is looking really good. Raro's got to be careful, you know. Mr. Stroll's going to start looking at other drivers if X-Max keeps on performing. So, right now we're riding on board with X-Max. He's currently got the fastest lap. We're seeing if he can go any faster, but the conditions are getting very greasy. You can see the cars, their rears are kicking out under these conditions as he makes his way through turn 9 and 10, making his way past the skating complex and up towards the back straight. Note, not a straight. It's the back, long, gentle corner. But for all intents and purposes, we treat it like a straight. But this braking point into turn 14 is so tricky. It's very easy to get it wrong, but X-Max nails it as he makes his way around using as much of the exit curve as he possibly can through turn 15 into 16. We've got a little bit of a cut on the corner, but just enough to get away with it. Just a foot away from the wall there as it closes in. 2 corners to go as he makes his way around this little 90-degree block. And here we go. The time is not going to be better than what he set before. The time is 2.2 seconds off, so these conditions are not going to see any drivers improving. It's up to drivers like Rafa, Brother John, Luke Brax, and Nameless. X-Max has retired from the session, incidentally.
By the way, it's a dry race.
A dry race. Weatherman Red Baron with the report. We have got ourselves a dry race tonight. So, what sort of things are you looking at for strategy, man?
I really don't know. I'm gonna go for soft medium. I don't know what lap I'm gonna go in, but yeah.
Well, this is definitely a track where you can get away with some long, long runs. It's not particularly brutal on the tires.
Thanks for the insight, and have fun doing this. And I'm
Absolutely.
going back.
All right,
Okay, bye.
best of luck. Oh, and there we go. Big hit from Rafa, and there's not going to be a qualifying lap for that Mercedes. Oh, it's a rough day. We're missing Sheer and we're missing Rafa. Speaking of which, I should probably see if I can find Sheer and Sanity right now. See if... Oh, good. Flex is back into the session. Brother John working to set a lap here as he makes his way around. He's got Santi right behind him, filling in for Sheer Insanity at the moment. Tight line through corner 6, and it's disallowed. So Santi currently running an out lap here behind Brother John, who still hasn't hit a time, so Brojo's going to find himself starting from the very back of the grid here. But we've got a slightly shorter than normal grid here. T Goldie is out. It looks like we've got a lot of drivers recognizing that they're not going to be going any faster. These conditions are tricky. Really, the only people who have much reason to be setting lap times would be Brother John and Rafa. Rafa, of course, is out of this race. Also, interestingly, because these laps were set under dry conditions, they are still going to be forced to stick to these. So look for T Goldie and Camborne to be in a very advantageous position. Alright, Santi about to set another lap, going to see if he can improve on that 133.1. Currently, he wants to get onto the mediums. That's going to be a very, very hard ask as he makes his way down towards the Ice Palace. Here we go, you can see the Sochi Olympic flame just off in the distance there as we come around the central plaza. Now we make our way around this big, winding left-hander. Over and over, don't let that back kick out. Nice straight line braking, takes the apex, and it's disallowed. Left off of that one, Santi, because you're not going to be able to take that lap to the bank. Balzac is still going, gonna see if he can set a faster lap, but it's gonna be hard to beat a 133.19 in these greasy conditions. I'm saying the word a lot, but it really is that way. Cars just slide. We've just lost Santi. Let's see if we can get to a driver who will have a little bit of a chance to look at that. I think his car will probably be removed from the area by the time we get by. There it is in the wall. And that is 2 Mercedes getting repaired right now. And he's gone. So Santi is out. T Goldie has retired. X-Max has retired. Dubman himself seems to have retired from the session. So thus far it's only the 2 Mercedes that have really taken themselves out of this qualifying session. I feel the need to call upon Coach Cup, but he's busy clicking things right now. Ooh, there's a moment for Fiji, but he holds his car in one piece. Alright. Not many drivers still trying to set laps here. We do have Balzac, who is working to set some sort of time here, but he's going to be very hard-pressed to beat his 1:33.9. Especially on medium tires. In these conditions, look at the car just sliding around on that slippery track. He's already almost at the time he needs to set, and he's still got a corner to go. This is just not optimal conditions, but it's very interesting to think of what this would mean were we coming into a race right now. Which is, namely, that this is a very tricky crossover situation. It's not quite intermediate conditions, but nor is it very comfortable on the softs, mediums, or hards, the dry compounds, as it were. So we got Flex and Camborne making their way around together here. Can't really see this as being much more than practice. Oh, a bit of a moment there for Camborne as he rides up on the curves. So ultimately, people who got their laps out early are just having a very nice time here. Oh, I see. This is a bit of a draft. I think Flex is going to drop off to the side here, see if he can catapult Camborne up. Nice team play there from the number 1 and number 3 in the championship. I'm sure they'd love to be 1-2 again, as they were up until the last couple of races where Kenny LaFleur has been on a 2-podium streak. But you're not going to be able to set a fast lap with that happening, unfortunately. These conditions are just brutal. They're unforgiving. Fiji is making his way out, but he's not going to be able to set a lap time. And Balzac's just coming in, so with half of our drivers gone, it's going to be time to make our way on to the race. As the rain continues to just pitter-patter down, the DRS is still opening. So the conditions, as you can see, are not quite into the wet condition, but this is hard. This is very, very challenging driving. You have to have such a deft touch, not just on the gas, but on the brakes, on the steering. You need to be able to catch those slides, those moments of understeer and oversteer. And Flex is pulling his way in. Is Camborne going to try another lap? No, he's not. Alright, well that's going to be the very end of qualifying right now. Fiji coming around, but I can't see this as being anything other than another practice lap, since Fiji is not going to go higher than 8 here. He's already passed the finish line, of course. And that is that for qualifying. We've got X-Max on pole. A nice turnaround here saying, my goal for this session is I want to qualify. That has been done. Nicely done, X-Max. We continue to watch Fiji Domo's car just kind of race around. He's been checkered flag for a while, but he's still racing around. I might have to drop into his chat channel and just tell him to retire the car. Curious, he's not in chat right now. Ah, there we have it. Just when I was worried I was going to have to go crack some heads. There you have it. So qualifying gives us X-Max, Flex, Dubman, Red, Baron, and T Goldie as your top 5. But we got a couple of interesting drivers outside of that group. Camborne is going to be one of the higher placed drivers starting on the medium compound. So here we are in pre-race. Waiting for everyone to get loaded in. We've got a couple of new drivers here, so it might be wise for us to give the little reminders. I'm sure Red Baron's given X-Max the old reminder. Let's see. Oh no! Well, hopefully everyone was ready. So we're going to be having, of course, a formation lap to take us around. And then it's going to be the start of this Russian Grand Prix for the 3rd season of Formula Racing League. And they're all away, so at the very least no one has wandered away from their keyboards. So we've got Brother John, who was not able to set a competitive qualifying lap, and Rafa, who crashed out. They're going to be starting right from the back, but they of course have some free choice of tires, so let's take a little bit of a look at that. So currently we've got Rafa, Brother John, Luke Brax, Camborne, and T Goldie starting off on the mediums. Everyone else is going to be starting off on the softs. A little bit of a glitchy movement there for Rafa. Hopefully that doesn't bode ill for the race. So, starting off this race, we're going to have X-Max, Flex, Dubman himself, Red Baron, T Goldie, Camborne, and Santi. Fiji Dummo, aka Merc W11, Balzac, Nameless, Nate, Luke Brax, Get Dunked, RFX Rafa, and Brother John. Curiously, RFX Rafa is behind him, but showing us in front of him. Well, you know what? That's just some Codemasters for you. You know, sometimes. Well, after the F1 race this weekend, we can't really complain about Codemasters making a mess of the bed too badly, since it turns out that that's just a realistic simulation of how things actually happen sometimes. We're looking at some predicted pit stop strategies. Almost certainly going to be one-stoppers for everyone here. You can run the soft medium here. You might even see some soft hards, but I imagine most drivers are going to be a little bit biased towards the more aggressive strategies. As X-Max makes his way out onto the starting grid. The cars are just trickling their way in. Rafa and Brother John, some of the last to make their way in here. And we are going to be ready to start this race. We're staring away at the amusement park built into here at the Sochi Olympic Park as the drivers take their positions. Four lights, 5 lights. Long hold, and they're off. It's a good start. X-Max is able to hold it from second. Flex. Dubman is up, but we've got a couple of positions changing here as Red Baron is being swamped a little bit. T Goldie and Dubman are both through on him as the cars make their way down the starting straight here. Into the first braking zone, the Haas's are close. Oh, there's a little bit of sandwiching happening there. A couple of drivers are going wide. They're not worrying too much about the rules, about the rejoins there. Red Baron is shunted down several positions. Camborne going wide there around that corner. Does he have a problem? I'm not certain. His front wing appears to be intact, but we've got Santi trying to make a move around the outside as he accelerates down towards turn 6. But Camborne is able to hold onto the position and go side by side around here. Behind, Rafa has made his way up a position over Get Dunked. Brother John just making a move on Get Dunked right at the back there, and Brojo is up to 13th place. Santi's still battling Camborne here, and further up ahead we've got a bit of a tight battle for the lead. Luke Brax and Red Baron going side by side. Red Baron trying to make his way up inside. Luke Brax pushes his way around the outside. That's 4 positions down for Red Baron, but 4 up for Luke Brax. Balzac has had a similarly good start, and once again, I always say it, if you want to see something exciting, just put your camera on Fiji. He is up 4 positions from 8th to 4th place. he can see the leader of this race just a short ways ahead of him. We've got some swaps of position further back here, as going around the corner, we've got Santi and Nameless Nate. Nameless Nate is going to have to accept the loss of that position, but he's got a nice little line into here. He might be able to get a bit of a run if he can get the power down early enough, but there's a little bit of loss of performance there, and that's going to be all he can set for the moment. Fastest lap for the first lap for X-Max, of course. He did start on pole, so that's basically guaranteed for the first. And I think Get Dunked is going to go for a first lap pit stop. He has taken some damage there. I'm also curious if the same has perhaps happened to Camborne. So Cam finds himself down in 9th place. He was tossed a little bit wide there. And so far it seems that the drivers who were thrown around at the beginning, I wonder if that has something to do, well, not necessarily the tires. As we see T Goldie getting into a little bit of a fight with Fiji. He goes wide, but he holds on to the position there. That's going to upset some people who are upset at some rulings that were made this weekend. But I digress. T Goldie has taken a position, and Balzac has got the best broom in the house to see it. So this is the tight little midfield battle right now. We've got a small group forming out ahead, as X-Max is leading Flex. No DRS yet though, so we're not going to see any passes with that. Up ahead, Fiji is right on the tail end of T Goldie. As he goes up the inside, he's going to get a slightly better braking point. And Fiji is able to hold it. T Goldie leaves him space, and that's going to provide a bit of an opening for Balzac. Luke Brax is right behind and going to be seeing if he can get something done here. Camborne also going up the inside of Red Baron, and Red Baron loses another place after his very nice qualifying. He is really getting swamped by some of the drivers around him. Up ahead, Balzac. Luke is not able to make his way through on Balzac. T Goldie and Fiji still dueling side by side, but Fiji is through. X-Max sets another fastest lap, but he is not able to clear outside of the fastest lap. I'm saying fastest laps for every single car here. It makes sense. It is the 3rd lap. They're just getting quicker and quicker every subsequent lap. We're getting a couple of cars wide here as they make their way into the corner. And there we go. T Goldie is up in position. Balzac takes 5th, but he's going to have to back under that for a moment. As here we go, Luke Brax up the inside of the McLaren of Balzac, but he's a little bit boxed in by Fiji. He's going to have to brake a little bit earlier, and that's going to provide an opening. Camborne is going to be looking for any chance that he can get. But look at this. This whole crowd is not spreading out. So we go on board with Camborne, but of course he hasn't been able to drop Red Baron. Red Baron has gotten pushed around Oh! I looked away just for a moment. Is that damage to Camborne? We're going to have to get a look at the front of that car, but I think he's intact. So Camborne is just behind Luke Brax here as this group begins to spread out a little bit. And this is the very start of the group, so we've got to take you through this group. We've got at the very end of this, we've got X-Max, we've got Flex, and then we've got T Goldie is the leader of this group, and then we've got Fiji. Balzac making a move up the inside on Fiji Dumo. And is he able to hold it? Oh, there's a little bit of a barging going on there, as the cars just carve their way through here. Look at this pack. Goodness, that'd be interesting to be racing in. So T Goldie leads this group, but he's beginning to pull away just a little bit from Fiji. Luke Brax and Balzac. Looks like Camborne is going to have a run on Balzac as he goes up the inside, but it's going to be a little bit. DRS is open, but it's a whole DRS train here. So this whole group is just going to compress, and goodness, this almost looks like Moto 3 racing. Camborne trying to make his way up the inside of Balzac, but it's not happening. He's taking these wider lines. And around that side, there's some contact. Rafa, Camborne, Rafa, front end in. Good thing he ghosts there. And with that, RFX Rafa is going to have to make a pit stop. He's only 3 laps in, and he's going to have to switch to something else. Further ahead, Brother John is still at the very back of this group. Red Baron up ahead. He's holding off Santi. And Brother John is just getting a nice view of this. It looks like there's a little bit of a split starting to form in this middle pack. But we'll see how long that lasts, as Nameless Nate takes a little bit of a wide line, and now Brother John is going to race up the inside. He has not quite got over, and now he's got some overlap on him. Looking over to the side there's Nameless Nate. And ultimately, he backs out of it. He doesn't want to have an incident. Not now. He's a patient driver, Brother John. usually doesn't make really incautious mistakes. That's a commentator's curse if I've ever made one, but, well, sorry. I'd rather make one with a compliment. Alright, so, Balzac following Fijidomo here, who, after being briefly up to 4th place, has been overtaken by Luke Brax and T. Goldie. Fiji taking a bit of a wide line here. Balzac much tighter, and that's going to give him some advantage here, as Fiji has, of course, lost the DRS, so that's going to be costly. Oh, side by side, but Fiji just barely leaves the room, and Balzac is able to capitalize on it. This is going to allow Camborne to catch up, and you can see that this group is split into 2 now. So, if we're to look at the track currently, we've got the leader. We've got X-Max, who is a second ahead of Flex. Dubman has fallen 6 seconds back and is leading T. Goldie outside of range. Then we've got Luke Brax, followed by Balzac, and it is Balzac who has the excitement behind him now. Indeed, it's practically a Mercedes sandwich. Get Dunked is through on RFX Rafa, who has had to make a long, painful lap around, but Rafa is now making his way out of the pits. All drivers remain in the race as Balzac leads his group around. This is the battle for 6th place, with Balzac leading Fijidomo, Camborne, and Rafa. T. Goldie and Brax having a little bit of a fight here. T. Goldie is not going to be able to do much against that DRS pass, but he is going to be able to ride off of the back of Luke so long as he can keep his traction up. Looks like there aren't any passes into the heavy overtaking zone there. And here we are with Get Dunked, who will be pursued by RFX Rafa, who's gone on to the softs. I wonder if he's going to do 2-stop or if he's going to do some ridiculous tire-saving strategies. Flex has gotten to within DRS range of X-Max. So that's going to be considered, fairly important that this has happened. So take this group, it's Balzac, Fiji, Camborne, Red Baron, and Santi. Red Baron right in the middle of this, Fiji taking a little bit of a peek. Camborne's the closest, and he's got a really tight line. Fiji is not quite closing the door. Now he does. And Cam wisely backs out of it rather than trying to squeeze himself between a Fiji and the wall. Red Baron in just behind, but behind him we also have Santi. So this 5 is really what's left of the big pack that has started to break up a little bit on pace ever since Balzac started falling off the back of the group with T. Goldie and Luke Brax. Although, if I recall correctly, Balzac wasn't actually the one who was leading the group at that time. Nonetheless, Cam's close. And now he's going to see if he can get a bit of a line around the outside here, but you don't really want to run that line. Fiji takes it, and Cam has to back out of it. Red Baron is not sliding any further back off of this group, although he does have a gap of just a few tenths back to Santi. So once again, the midfield battle is where it's at. We might be seeing a little bit of a fight, actually, if we take a look here. Might need a few more corners, but I have to imagine that Get Dunked is going to have a bit more formidable pace. Side by side, Fiji is not able to take a position off of Balzac. Camborne, Red Baron, and Santi, they're all within 3/10 of the car ahead as they carve their way through turn 5. Gonna see if there's not really much of an overtaking opportunity. Santi compromising his line a little bit to take a peek there, but he's still staying close to Red Baron. He's ready to take any opportunities that might be able to present themselves. Rafa is getting very close, and here we go. Oh, that's a terrible camera angle. Rafa is through on Get Dunked. So up to 13th for Rafa. Oh, we got position change further ahead here. We've got Luke Brax, who has been able to get through on Dubman himself. Dubman Sauce might be losing a bit of their shine at this point. And Luke Brax is up into the podium positions. Santi braking late, and that's an overtake for Santi on Red Baron. has to be careful not to let that drop him outside of this DRS train, because if you get dropped from the DRS train, you're going to have a bad time, as you can see from Brother John here, who really needs to stay within that 1 second gap. He's just outside of it right now, but will he be able to get a little bit closer? I think he's just barely got it. Oh, look at that! He was within 1,000, but yes, Brother John is going to be able to keep within this DRS train. And Nameless Nate is taking a pit stop. Nameless Nate into the pit lane. Here we go, Camborne with some big deployment up the inside and charging through. A couple of cars wide, and Fiji is forced to take a bit. Oh, there's some bouncing going left and right there. Balzac now suddenly in the middle of this, and he was leading this group a moment ago. Now he has lost 2 positions. First to Camborne, then to Fiji. Fiji, somehow out of all of that, ends up taking it back with a little bit of elbows out racing up at the front there. Fiji, meanwhile, Rafa, fastest lap. Balzac goes wide there, and Camborne might try to take advantage of this as he goes up the inside of Balzac. Santi gonna see if he can take advantage as well, but Balzac seems to have fully recovered from what just unfolded in front of us right there. Ooh, he's very close. That looked very much like contact. T Goldie is through on Dubman. Oh goodness, we got a little bit of a glitchy movement there. So Red Baron has lost position to Santi, but Santi is now challenging Balzac. Red Baron doesn't quite have the acceleration he needs in order to take that position, but Santi is able to ride around the outside of Balzac, and with that he is able to seize 8th place from the McLaren. Balzac challenges back up the inside, but ultimately slips back into line. Red Baron wants to make something happen here, and I think the time has come for us to start really having a good look at telemetry. So a couple of these drivers, here we go, up the inside. It is Balzac, and he's got Brother John just a short ways behind. Now that he's through, he has to be careful because he might actually let Red Baron come back through here. Red Baron goes around the outside. Can he hold it? He holds it on the track. What a fight here. And Santi challenging up the inside as they come 3 wide. Oh! Oh no! Oh no! Oh no. Well, he's intact. Red Baron is going to be frustrated. Okay, now here's the key moment. Red Baron just needs to get his tire temperature back under control. Often you've seen that when something goes wrong, he will race hard to make up for the mistake, but he just needs to play it calm for a little bit, cool down the tires, and get back into this. He's not far off of this group. So Balzac finds himself with Brother John. Santi, this has really blown open the group, and now it is Fijidomo chasing down Camborne, and that is the only close battle as we have T Goldie and Dubman side by side, past teammates. T Goldie is able to hold, take 4th for the back Brother John and Balzac. They have swapped positions there. Balzac clearly recognizing that his teammate is going to be on the advantageous circumstances right there. Oh, that's Fiji. That is Fiji, who is spun off in turn 15. And that's going to put him right near where Red Baron is. Of course, Red Baron had that high-speed spin up. I wonder if Red Baron is going to take this opportunity to pit himself. Fiji's staying out. Red Baron as well. Makes sense. If he thinks that his tires aren't too badly flat-spotted or too badly worn from that, then it would make sense for him to just take as much of these fast tires as he possibly could. So we're losing a lot of the DRS trains that were defining the first third of this race, but we've still got this battle between T Goldie and Dubman himself that's been going back and forth, back and forth. Meanwhile, up in the lead, X-Max. Oh, Flex is overtaken for the lead while I was looking away. Flex has seized the lead from X-Max. But X-Max is right here, and he's going to want to take that position back. Let's look at where Flex's deploy is. It is not nearly as available, but X-Max is seeming okay to follow him right now. Look at that, he's just lifting off, saving fuel. You can see from that yellow fuel tank that X-Max has actually underfueled for this race, so he will be doing a little bit of lifting and coasting, which honestly he can get away with if he is following Flex. So there could be a little bit of strategy to this, actually. We've got Brother John right behind Santi here. Balzac has fallen off a little bit from the pace. His softs are clearly now losing out to the power of the mediums on a slightly longer stint. X-Max remaining 4 times behind, but he doesn't want to go too fast. Look at that. He lifts so early. X-Max is just controlling. He is not worrying too much about being in the lead for the whole race. Dubman himself makes his way into the pits. So too does Santi and Balzac. Fiji Domo, however, is staying out, and with that he is going to push himself back up into places. Red Baron looks like he is coming into the pits as well. Rafa, of course, has already made an unwilling pit stop, having taken damage early on in the race. And Nameless Nate is only a short ways behind him. He was overtaken by Rafa, but he's only lost about 3 seconds to the Mercedes. Get Dunked, meanwhile, is only a short ways back, so the whole group is still relatively close. Red Baron has gotten his new tires on, and he comes out on the mediums. I don't think anyone would be surprised to see that. Get Dunked comes out, and he is just a short ways behind Balzac. So right now, the whole grid is really spread out, except for one place which we really ought to be following, and that is the battle for the lead right now. Although I don't think I could really describe it as a battle, so much as perhaps a siege. You can see, look at the ERS deployment on X-Max. He is not pushing. He's lifting and coasting. He's enjoying the DRS. He is coasting behind Flex, knowing that he doesn't have to worry that much about the tire wear on this particular track. Look at that. He just lifts so dramatically. This is certainly a track where you can get away with some fuel saving, but X-Max is putting it to a whole new level. I wonder how negative he is on fuel in these circumstances. Certainly, it's been okay to gamble on safety cars lately, but we are running this race on a reduced level safety car. Fiji Domo into the pits, and this is going to be interesting to see where exactly he comes out relative to the other drivers. Keep in mind, he was only ahead of Red Baron in that group because both he and Red have had small spins. So Santi's through and Rafa is through. And Fiji's car is moving again. It's going to probably be somewhere near Get Dunked. So let's see, as Get Dunked makes his way out, actually, it'll be Balzac. So Fiji comes out ahead of Balzac, who's been running, well, he almost got the overtake on him there, but not quite. Nonetheless, they're close, and I don't think I see X-Max trying to make a position up here. So we're going to see if Balzac can do something while Fiji is working to get his tires up to temperature. Fiji goes a little bit tight to defend, but then swings back out to the left to make his entry to the corner. Balzac chasing down the Williams. Gonna see if this McLaren has got something that he can bring. And X-Max is into the pits. Flex, however, stays out. Oh! That's a moment for Balzac, and he keeps it under control as he goes bouncing. That can't be comfortable on the old Tushy. X-Max making his way out of the pits, and who's he gonna come out by? I suspect it's going to be somewhere between Cam and Brother John. Let's see, he does have the full speed as he's coming out the exit way, and he is comfortably ahead of Brother John with a lot of space to work with, so that looks reasonably comfortable. These long-running drivers are now all finding themselves fairly close together. So let's take a look. We were talking about drivers who had a nice position here. Luke Brax, currently P2, hasn't changed yet. Same for T Goldie, same for Camborne. You can see that they're spread out a little bit across, let's say, 2/3 of the sector. And then we come to X-Max, who has been, even though he was running second, I felt that he was in the driver's seat in that duel with Flex. Brother John behind is also running on the same strategy as these second, third, and fourth placed cars, but he's just a little bit further back. Still quite close to Camborne and X-Max. Dubman, Santi have both made their pit stops. RFX Rafa is on a recovery right now. I imagine he's going to have to pit again, but you never know. He could be waiting for a safety car. Nameless Nate has picked up a penalty. He's currently running fairly comfortably in 10th, but he does have Fiji behind him, and we know that Fiji is a pacey fella. Balzac was not able to make a move, and Flex is into the pits. Luke Brax now leads the race as Flex getting his tires changed, and he comes back out. T Goldie is going to come through and over to his side. He's past Flex. Going over, and there's a Flex over there. And there's a Flex over there. And there you have it. Flex is out. Back onto the track, and he's behind X-Max. So that was the undercut right there. X-Max has taken the lead. And Flex picks up a penalty on that corner. He's not going to be pleased with that. There's a yellow flag out. Is that Luke Brax? Well, I'm not entirely sure how that happened there, but this is going to be very, very difficult for Flex's attempt to make a third win in a row. Pardon me, a third win on a start. He wasn't present for the Italian Grand Prix. X-Max right on the back of Camborne here. As three drivers, all of whom are at the very tight end of this championship, race one another. Oh, and there we go. Camborne has ceded the positions. He's not wanting to fight this one too much. So next up for these two is going to be T Goldie, since Luke Brax, as you can see, is just making his way into the pits right now. This leaves T Goldie in the lead of the race. So X-Max is clearing a little bit away, and let's have a look at where his fuel is. He's still running light. I think it's worth seeing how much is he lifting and coasting right now. That's about 75 to 100 meters of lift and coast. It's interesting. I don't think he's going to be that scared of just letting someone get past him that way. Flex is right on the back of X-Max here. So right now, the win condition for Flex is he needs to get ahead and he needs to clear 3 seconds. But X-Max has shown himself to be a deadly pursuer, and look at that, he's just backing it up in these sections where Flex can't make a pass happen. This is some tactical driving right here. Does he get dunked? Taking off his well-worn mediums, and what's he going on to? I wonder if he's putting on another set of mediums. There we go. Flex is just able to casually, as you please, go past X-Max, and I wonder what strategy X-Max is pulling here. Because all he really needs to do is stay behind Flex. As long as he stays close, he's good. But oh, how I would love to see what his fuel delta is at right now. If he needs to save like 2 laps of fuel or something, he is in a lot of trouble here. You can see T Goldie is making his way into the pit lane. And Flex and X-Max retake the lead. Now we effectively, for people on the strategy, have Dubman running in 3rd place, but we're going to see what happens as Cam, T Goldie, and the others make their way out. Brother John comes through, and he is continuing to stay out. Dubman comes by and overtakes his teammate. We're getting some purple sectors back there. I think that was Santi, perhaps? So Rafa, doing nicely on his recovery, but I suspect he will be doing one more pit stop, but I've suspected that before and been wrong. So Balzac has now caught up to the back of Fiji Domo. He's got a really good run on him here, and he powers on through. Fiji cannot do much against the pace of Balzac right now, but now is he going to be able to get better traction as he makes his way around the turn 3-4 complex? T Goldie picks up a time penalty. X-Max is playing his game with Flex right now. He can just coast behind his rival. What we need is for Camborne to start catching up into that fight. So Fiji remaining close here, and X-Max, just at the very, very edge of holding on to his DRS here, and I think I'd like to see what he does one more time as he comes around. He is 9/10ths off of the back of Flex, but that's close enough. That is all you need. X-Max cruising his way along. A little bit of ERS as he makes his way around this corner. Santi picks up a penalty there, and Camborne is coming out of the pits now. Camborne has done his pit stop, and he's going to come out quite close to Rafa, just a little ways behind. And this is going to be interesting. Rafa's tires are going to be squealing. It's not the situation they like to find themselves in, and now you've got a Camborne behind you. Cam's going to run these softs to the end quite comfortably, as will Luke Brax and T. Goldie ahead. Rafa is going to be much, much more challenged to do the same. Vichi's very close onto the back of Balzac here. And here we've got Luke Brax on Dubman. So Dubman is running the same strategy as the two leaders, but he finds himself a little ways back. Luke Brax is trying to make a pass here, but Dubman has a lot to defend. And it seems that Luke Brax has oh, we've got a yellow flag out there. We've lost Camborne and Rafa. Camborne and Rafa have come together. Camborne and Rafa with a collision that has taken them both out of the race. I wish I'd been looking at it, but you can't catch everyone, and they are out of it. This is a safety car, and this is very, very... well, I was about to say, there's one driver who could benefit from a safety car right now, two actually, because we've got Dubman coming in. He doesn't need it so badly, but Brother John is going to be thanking Rafa and Cam for whoever was more responsible for that one. Rafa, I was thinking, was the other person who could really use a safety car right now, but not with himself bringing it out. So now it's up to Santi to see if he can make something out of this race for Mercedes. As we've got the leaders, we've got Flex, pursued by X-Max, Luke Brax, and then T. Goldie, who's already done his pit stop. Balzac in 5th, Fiji Domo in 6th position, having been overtaken by the Balzac. Brother John makes his way through. End of Dubman and Santi. Nameless Nate is out with a nice, brand spanking new set of softs. Red Baron, the same, and Get Dunked is going to be able to use this to get back in. He's going to stay out. Interesting that he's not switching his tires on. Although, honestly, given where the safety car happens to have come out, he could probably do a full lap, working to catch up to the safety car, and then do a pit stop. Flex picks up another penalty under the safety car. Very unnecessary. And X-Max is just pitting. He's got the Max Verstappen option. He can pit for soft cars, and this is just... this race is becoming more and more unwinnable for Flex as X-Max just tightens his grip on this race in such an interesting way. He's not just running off into the distance. He's saying, "No, I want to keep you within my within my line of sight." I wonder if Luke Brax is going to be able to get through. This actually might have surrendered the position to Luke Brax. Oh, that's interesting. Luke Brax actually takes second place from X-Max here. And this is everything that X-Max needed, incidentally, to get his fuel saving done. So there will be no more of that need for the lift and coast X-Max, and he will have 3 laps more soft tire to work on here. However, Luke Brax has put himself into a very, very nice position here. So Flex continues to lead Luke, X-Max, T. Goldie and Balzac, Fiji and Brother John, Dubman, Santi, and Nameless Name the top 10. Red Baron and Get Dunked are the 2 drivers outside of the top 10 right now, but everyone is going to be in for a shot once they've gathered here behind the safety car. Flex is the first to be collected, then Luke Brax and X-Max. T. Goldie making his way, and he catches up towards the train in lap 11. It looks like we might have another 2 laps under the safety car. Gotta be careful there. You've seen from Flex that you can pick up penalties under the safety car, and it can be very, very punishing when that happens. Balzac is followed by Fiji, who's running. Fiji, listen to me, my friend. Brother John behind him. So, I quite liked that midfield battle that was raging early on in the race. Now we're going to see all of that again, and right now, it's Balzac and Fiji who are actually in a pretty vulnerable spot here. They've both chosen not to pit, but now things are going to gather up. This is kind of their last opportunity to make a pit stop before they really start losing time. I would strongly recommend to Balzac and Fiji, get into the pits now. What are they going to do? Interesting. Alright, they're both staying out on their mediums, but they're going to have 5 cars with softs right behind them. So here's the train. As the cars gather. Now it's up to Nameless Nate. Get dunked, interestingly, deciding that he likes his mediums. Or maybe just really wants to get the race underway. Could be one or the other. But I suspect this is going to be the final lap as Nameless Nate catches up to the back of the train. Red Baron's going to be next as he comes through turn 5. There's the back of the train, and get dunked. They're all going to be gathered up by the second DRS line, and that is going to mean that they are going to be able to get this race going at the start of lap 21. 7 laps to decide a victor here in the Sochi Autodrome. Safety car is indeed confirmed in this lap. Flex leads Luke Brax and X-Max. X-Max chose to pit for softs. There's only 4 drivers who've chosen to stay out on medium age, medium tires, and that's Flex, Balzac, Fiji, and Get Dunked. So at this point, we'll move off from the tires and start taking a little look at the penalties. 6 seconds on Flex, 3 on T Goldie, 3 on Balzac. The cars make their way towards the start-finish line. Flex doing everything he can to heat up his tires. Weaving left, weaving right. 1 corner to go. And he's about to fire it. He's firing it. This is the moment. Oh, he kicks out the back just a little bit there. And is anyone close? Balzac right on the back of T Goldie. Fiji with a bit of a run as well. Dubman has gotten jumped just a little... Brother John has gotten jumped just a little bit. And that might open up an opportunity for Santi. Santi comes up the inside, diving. And he takes the position. Dubman loses a place. Balzac loses a place to Fiji Domo. Fiji has taken it up the inside. And now will Balzac be able to fight back here? No movements in the top positions there. And we've got some side-by-side action here as Dubman, Nameless Nate, side-by-side into the corner. And it's a tight line held by Nameless Nate, but Dubman is able to carry a little bit more speed. Nate would love to get through on Dubman. He's passed him already on penalties. Time penalty for Nameless Nate, so that removes a bit of his advantage there. Alright, of course, Nate has 6 seconds of penalties. I misread that. 9 seconds now. Lots of DRS deployment here. As the cars make their way, I need to look at the front. And they're all through. Oh, that's a bit of a wide line there, but T Goldie is not punished for it. So once again, we're seeing a bit of a gap holding up here as T Goldie is a little bit off the pace of the top 3 drivers right now. Now we're going to see if Fiji is able to do something. Brother John is very, very close to his McLaren teammate here. Weaving left, weaving right. There's not going to be fast this time. No sir, but Santi takes a position from Dubman. A little bit of contact there, and Santi is taken 8th. Balzac pursuing Fiji Domo. Side by side, as Balzac is able to grab that spot. Fiji's a fighter. Oh, and there's a rear end. Santi taps the back of Brother John. And Dubman touches the back of Santi. I hope that's not any damage for him. Nameless Nate right behind the Dubs. And then Red Baron. Looking to recover something from this race, he started in a very high position. Now I want to see if X-Max is going to make his move now, because right now Flex is starting to pull away off of Luke Brax, so X-Max really needs to make something happen now, or else this win that seems so much in his grip is going to slip away from him. Flex has the fastest lap of the race thus far, and the DRS is enabled. DRS open. Oh no, Dubman! Dubman loses it coming out of the final corner, and that's another safety car. And that, oh goodness, has that just won the race for Luke Brax? Luke has only one win this season, but X-Max does not have a single win this season. Had a very, very nice second place on the previous race in Italy. A real burn from the stern. But with Dubman out of the race, the safety car is gathering. It looks like it's going to be a short safety car, but what's this going to mean for the drivers and their tires? So Flex right now is in a really bad spot. Flex doesn't have much of a lead. If he pits now, he's going to drop down behind so many people. He just needs to deal with it. But those 6 seconds of penalties are just weighing around his neck like an albatross on a chain. Luke Brax holds a position from X-Max, and X-Max didn't make the move when he needed to. And now, Luke looks like he's in a fantastic place to win this race if the safety car does not end quickly. Balzac and Fiji are the drivers who are in trouble right now. They have the medium tires on, and they are surrounded by drivers on the softs. But it might be wise for them to actually show a bit of patience. They may have weathered the storm. None of the softs are fresh anymore. We're going to see if either of them want to pit. No, they don't want to go for it. Maybe Get Dunked will do it. No, he looks for it, but he decides against it. T. Goldie picks up another time penalty. Oh, that's rough. And that's 6 seconds of penalties now. So, no one is going to pit. It's Flex, Balzac, Fiji, and Get Dunked on the mediums. Dubman has left the session. Understandable, his car is not in one piece. And they catch the safety car. So there are only 11 drivers left in this race. I suspect this will be a brief safety car, so actually, my assessment for Luke Brax having this might not be all. Because X-Max has shown some really, really nice pace, and I think he's going to have 2 laps to bring it in. Flex leads here. Is he disconnected? He's showing an X right now. That is concerning to me, but hopefully he is still in. But he did disconnect in qualifying earlier. This might upset things a little bit. Luke Brax really revving up the engine there. The safety car is not coming in this lap. Well, that's another lap under the safety car. So much for reduced safety car, am I right? doesn't seem to have much of an effect. Although, to be fair, Dubman did kind of trash his car all over the front of the start-finish straight. So, perhaps that's it. Flex is pitting. Goodness, well, he knows how doomed he is if he doesn't just get onto fresh tires now, because losing 6 seconds, especially with this, he'd definitely be off the podium, and that is huge as the championship leader tumbles down through the ranks. But he's not the only one. Nameless Nate, is he also pit? I wonder why. Well, Nameless Nate going for the pits as well. And that is going to be harsh, as Flex is going to be now struggling just to recover into the points. We're going to have a 2-lap race here at the end of this Russian Grand Prix from the Black Sea resort city of Sochi. So Luke Brax now leads, ahead of X-Max. There's no penalties to play around with here. These two are clean. Does he Flex make it? Wait, hang on, was that? Oh my goodness, that was Flex's AI. Flex is disconnected. I was wondering what that was. It didn't make any sense. But now it does. Flex is disconnected from the race and his AI has put him onto mediums at the end. Mediums! Jeff, please. Well, that is a frustrating way to lose what was a potential podium. At some points it looked like a potential win until the penalties started to accumulate. But now, I am certain we're going to have the safety car in. There we go. You know, as soon as I said I was certain, I felt this rising pit of despair. But fortunately, we don't have to deal with my rising pit of despair. We get to deal with 2 laps of FRL Season 3 racing. We are here. We've got Luke Brax leading X-Max. T. Goldie just behind with Balzac. They're both going to be in trouble because they have penalties. Fiji Domo might be on course for a podium finish here because the guys in front of him have penalties, and if he can just stay close or maybe even make some overtakes, he could do something really impressive here. But either way, he is on course for a season best result if he doesn't mess up, so I won't say anything else. Luke Brack takes it away. X-Max right behind as the drivers make their way through the start. There's a yellow flag out briefly. Brother John has a bit of a moment, and that allows Santi through. Flex is disconnected at the back as Santi has made it through on Brother John. Further ahead, Fiji Domo. Oh, there's a yellow flag out, and we've lost Brother John. Brother John is out of the race, which means that disconnected Flex will still get points. So Fiji running P5 behind Balzac. X-Max is right behind Luke Brax, and I need to keep a fight on here. X-Max picks up a 3-second penalty. That is absolutely devastating on the 26th of 27 laps. He is out. It looks like they're going to be able to recover that vehicle, and the yellow flag is no longer showing in Sector 1. But this suddenly secures, almost certainly, unless something truly incredible happens, there's nothing that X-Max can do here. Luke Brax is now in the lead, and he can even afford to lose 3 seconds, and that's going to be all it takes. X-Max needs to get a position. He needs to take it now. Santi has taken a fight, but Red Baron is now seeing if he can take it back from him. He does not want to lose this position. The cars thunder their way down the back straight, and Red Baron is now able to take the line. Santi backs into it. Get Dunked gets very, very close into the back of this, and now we see Balzac battling with T. Goldie. Balzac up the inside of T. Goldie, and they both make contact. Oh, goodness! That's a bit of a moment there, as now Fiji is through. T. Goldie drops down to 5th, soon to be even lower when the penalty is applied, and now Fiji Domo is in line for a potential podium here. He is rear-ended. Goldie destroys his front wing, and Fiji looks like he's still intact. Balzac dropping down the positions. Maybe he made an illegal overtake, but now Red Baron has come into the mix as we come into this, the 27th lap. Meanwhile, into the lead, X-Max, Luke Brax, they're side by side going into turn 1. Behind, Fiji Domo has taken 3rd place. Fiji is on course for a potential podium. Balzac, T. Goldie goes through off, and he is tumbling down the ranks. Red Baron now up into 5th place as Santi takes 6th. We've got everything going down here. As we can see, Nameless Nate, pursued by Get Dog T Goldie, doesn't have much he can do. Flex's Ghost, still deciding that it wants to have a little bit of action here. Balzac is now fending off a charging Red Baron. The Red Baron smells blood. He wants fourth. He wants a season best result here. Meanwhile, up in the lead, X-Max has actually taken the lead, but he needs to build 3 seconds gap. Fiji is looking very strong in third position, followed by Balzac, Red Baron, and Santi. Nameless Nate running P7 ahead of Get Dunked. We have to look at what's happening here. Luke Brax, he doesn't have the DRS, of course, because we've just restarted here, but unless he makes a mistake, he is going to hold the victory here because X-Max has gotten that 26th lap penalty. Fiji Domo, only a few corners to go before he takes what would be a maiden podium. He has been challenging so long. We've always said when you want to see the action, you look for Fiji. And here he comes in his Williams. He's in the lead ahead of Balzac and Red Baron, who is also in for an excellent result here. Red Baron making his way. Can he make a move? Over the lead, over the line. Luke Brax takes it. And here we have it for third, the battle. It is Fiji Domo who takes third place, Red Baron fourth, Get Dunked, and Balzac now coming through. Santi 7th, Nameless Nate with 8th place. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is your race. Well, that is, right in front of you, the second victory of the season for Luke Brax, who is awarded with the driver of the day. And that is definitely an excellent result right there. There you have it. Luke Brax takes a victory. X-Max takes second. He finished the race in first, but he got a penalty very, very late on. Fiji Domo with the podium position, third place. Red Baron with, I believe, a season best fourth place. And Get Dunked, Balzac, Santi, Nameless Nate, Flex, who, despite his disconnection, still managed to recover 2 points and crawl up to 206 points in the championship. And T Goldie, Brother John, retired late on, but he is still classified P11. Well, this has been chaos for Formula Racing League and the whole FRL team. Big shout out to everyone who's watching this, everyone who's here for the chat. And, well, we'll be hosting a community night on Thursday. But other than that, we race Tuesdays. We're going to be having a break coming up in a while for the Christmas break, but we will be continuing FRL in 2022 as Season 3 continues on. Once again, this has been Chaos signing out for Formula Racing League.